Whether it's the last appearance of someone who went missing or strange figures showing up for the first time ever. What you're about to see are the strange and most unsettling cases caught on CCTV, so stay tuned. One day, a delivery boy rang the doorbell. When the owner came outside, no one was there, but the delivery van and the boy's cell phone were on the floor. The owner was confused and felt something was off. After checking the Ring camera footage, things got even stranger. The delivery boy had suddenly disappeared, vanishing into thin air, like he had teleported, or something else entirely had happened. It left the owner completely puzzled, unable to explain how the boy had vanished without a trace. The mystery remained unsolved. Savior Man. In a supermarket in Korea, a thief suddenly appeared and forcefully demanded money from the counter. But there was a young man nearby who didn't seem normal. He had some kind of special power. Without moving a muscle, the young man pushed the thief with such force that he flew across the room and fell. The owner, shocked by what happened, later reviewed the CCTV footage. To his surprise, the young man wasn't seen anywhere after that. Maybe he was just there for the owner's safety. Or maybe he vanished into thin air for a reason. Ghost talk. Late at night, a hospital security guard suddenly stood up and started talking to someone, holding a clipboard. It looked like a normal conversation, but in the control room, another guard saw the footage and was shocked. There was no one there. The guard kept talking for a while and then walked away. Later, when asked, he said a patient named Mr. Wilson had come to talk. But here's the twist. Mr. Wilson had passed away a week ago. Maybe it was a mistake, or maybe the real nightmare had just begun. Dragged, vanished. All around the world, many cases are reported where unseen forces pull people, but most go unnoticed. One such case came from Bulgaria. Two men were standing outside a cafe at night. One of them was talking on the phone, and the other was just standing nearby. Suddenly, the one on the phone got pulled by his leg. His friend tried to help, but got so scared by what he saw that he ran away. Moments later, he returned, but his friend was gone. Then he saw him again, still being dragged, this time into the cafe at full speed. What really happened? Only they know. Savior. After watching this video, you'll believe there are powers in this world that save us at the right moment. This incident took place in Turkey. A man was walking by the side of the road when, out of nowhere, another man tapped him on the shoulder and kept walking. Moments later, a huge truck passed by and a large metal rod fell from it, landing right where the man had been walking. He managed to notice it just in time and avoided getting hit. The strange part? The man who tapped his shoulder disappeared immediately. Was he some kind of guardian angel? Lifted vans. In a small town in China, a strange and unexplained event took place one normal day. As people were going about their usual routines, two vans and a car suddenly lifted off the ground, floating in midair. It looked like something straight out of a movie, and the locals were terrified. No one had any idea what had just happened. Some believed that an unseen force had caused the vehicles to levitate, while others thought it might have been some kind of powerful magic at work. The sight left everyone stunned, and to this day, no one can explain how or why the vans and car defied gravity that day. Boy in hoodie. Late one night, a drunk beggar was sleeping outside a closed store. Suddenly, he felt someone pass by, but when he looked, there was no one around. Moments later, he felt a strange presence again. This time, he clearly saw a boy in a hoodie casually walking past him, eating snacks. The store was closed, yet the boy was calmly strolling out as if everything was normal. The next day, when the CCTV footage was checked, it left everyone speechless. The boy had walked straight through the locked door. No opening, no tricks, just straight through. Who he was, how he managed it, and what he truly was remains a mystery. Honestly, some things feel like they belong to a reality we're just not meant to understand. Vanishing motorcyclist. A delivery man was parked outside a house, checking his van for packages, when everything seemed perfectly normal. But then, something happened that seemed too strange to believe. As he was going through the items, he heard the sound of a motorbike approaching from behind. A motorcyclist passed by him, but when the delivery man turned around to look, the rider had completely disappeared. It was as if it vanished into thin air. Out of curiosity, the man checked the CCTV footage, and sure enough, it showed the bike coming into view. But then, just as quickly, the rider was gone, as though they had crossed into another dimension, or somehow disappeared from this one. Was it a glitch in reality, or something far stranger? No one can say for sure. Barely saved. A video was shared online that completely baffled everyone. It showed a truck speeding down the road, headed straight for a motorbike. The two were about to collide, but then something strange happened. Just before the crash, a person appeared out of nowhere and somehow moved the motorcyclist to the other side of the road. The truck passed by without any accident, and both the truck driver and the motorcyclist were left shocked, unable to explain what just happened. People online had different opinions. Some believed it was a superhuman act, while others thought it might have been an angel intervening. Lars Mittank. In July 2014, Lars Mittank, a 28-year-old German man, vanished without a trace after a trip to Bulgaria. He had gone to a doctor for an ear problem and was advised not to fly. Yet, on the day he was supposed to return, he acted strangely at the airport, looking paranoid and scared. Surveillance footage shows Lars suddenly running away from the airport, sprinting out into the unknown. Despite extensive searches, no one has seen or heard from him since. Some believe he may have been running from something, while others think his mind may have broken under the pressure. The truth remains a mystery that refuses to be solved. Unseen force. A young lady had been experiencing something unusual, but no one believed her. An unseen force would pull her away, dragging her through rooms, sometimes to the garage, sometimes back to her room. She struggled, trying to break free, but it was like she was being controlled. For a while, no one knew what was happening, thinking it was all in her mind. Then one day, CCTV footage revealed the truth. She wasn't imagining it. The footage showed her being dragged by an invisible force. After that, she disappeared without a trace, leaving everyone confused and terrified. Was it paranormal? No one knows. Teleporting figure. We recently saw footage of an incident where a truck and a motorcyclist narrowly avoided a collision, thanks to an unknown figure who appeared out of nowhere. A similar thing happened again, but this time, it involved a young woman crossing the road. Just as she was about to get hit by an oncoming car, it seemed like that same mysterious figure appeared, pulling her to safety in the split of a second. Everyone who witnessed it was in disbelief, unsure of what exactly had happened. The man vanished as quickly as he appeared, but the woman and everyone around were safe. Strange baby. A video shared from an unknown source left everyone puzzled. It shows a baby in a wooden cot during the middle of the night. The child was trying to climb out, but the real twist came when the baby stood up, balancing perfectly on the edge of the cot. It didn't fall, didn't wobble, just stood there like it was trained to do it. People couldn't believe it. How could such a small baby balance so easily? Some called it a strange talent. Others said something unseen might be helping. Elisa Lam mystery. In 2013, a woman named Elisa Lam was caught on CCTV in the elevator of the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles. She pressed random buttons, stepped in and out, and even hid in the corner, looking like she was talking to someone invisible. Her movements were so unusual that it puzzled everyone who saw it. Afterward, Elisa was found in the hotel's water tank, and no one could explain what happened. Some believe she was running from something unseen, while others think something darker was at play. The footage leaves you wondering if what we see is really what's there. Room 209. On September 14, 2003, strange screams came from room 209 on the second floor of the Wingate Hotel in Illinois. Several guests complained about the terrifying sounds, and one brave staff member was sent to check the room. As he approached, he too heard the disturbing noises. Despite the fear, he went inside. As he checked the room, CCTV footage showed a ghostly figure emerging from the very room he was in. At the same time, the hallway lights flickered and went out for a brief moment. What happened in that room remains a mystery, with no explanation for the eerie events.
It's room 209. Amy says nobody's checked into that room. Reports of screaming coming from that room.
Haunted house. In a quiet UK town, there stood an abandoned house where no one had lived for years. After nearly a decade, a new family moved in, hoping to start fresh. Locals believe the place was haunted by the spirit of the man who had first built it. At first, the family brushed off these tales, but slowly, they started feeling an unseen presence around them. Then, the CCTV footage captured what everyone was saying. A ghostly figure clearly appearing near the entrance, standing silently before fading away. It's strange how a house can look empty, but still have someone who never left. Camouflage woman. In a town of Indonesia, a man started noticing something odd about a woman living next door. She didn't feel quite human, so he decided to watch more closely. One day, while checking the CCTV footage, he saw something that shook him. The woman wasn't fully real. Her body seemed to camouflage, and at one moment, her head completely blended into the background, almost like she wasn't meant to be seen. Strangely, after that day, the woman was never spotted again. As for why or how this happened, well, I'll leave that mystery to the comments section. Maybe you'll have a better theory than I do. Headless walking. A local in Romania checked his house CCTV just to make sure everything was normal. But what he saw was beyond strange. On the roadside, a headless man was calmly walking like nothing was wrong. Before he could even understand what was happening, the man suddenly disappeared, like he was never even there. It was so quick and smooth that it felt unreal. Moments like this really make you think, maybe there's a lot more happening around us than we can ever imagine. Unseen force. A woman was peacefully sleeping in her room one night, the TV playing in the background. Suddenly, she woke up with a strange feeling, like something was watching her. At first, she thought it was just the noise from the TV that had disturbed her. But then, things took a terrifying turn. An unseen force seemed to grab her hair and move it in a way that felt eerie and cryptic. What entity was behind this strange event? No one saw it, but she wasn't alone in that room. Perhaps it was a warning, a sign for her to leave and never come back. Unidentified figure. There are many unusual things happening around us that we often don't notice, but when we finally find out, it's hard to believe. Just like this clip from Mexico, where a camouflaged figure is moving in an odd, struggling way. Sometimes its body is visible, sometimes it's not. Who knows how many of these strange figures might be around us, and we don't even realize it. It's a thought that can make you question everything you see. Ghost horse. In a small town in Colombia, everyone was asleep one night when strange and terrifying noises filled the air. No one dared to go outside and check. The next day, they watched the CCTV footage and were shocked. A massive, dark, ghostly horse was seen running down the street, with another eerie figure following closely behind. No one could make sense of it. The town was left confused and scared, unsure of what had happened or what they had witnessed. It was an unsettling mystery that no one could explain. Marked possession. Late at night, a man walked into a quiet supermarket. Everything seemed normal, and he moved calmly down the aisle. But then, something very strange happened. CCTV footage showed him suddenly freezing in place. His arms began to twist oddly, and his body shook like something had taken control. For a few seconds, he looked possessed, his face changed, and he let out a loud, strange scream. Shoppers around him stepped back, scared and confused. Locals had no idea who he was, but he was never seen again. Portal opening. Back in 2011, something that seemed straight out of a movie happened in real life. A man was parking his car with his wife when a strange energy filled the air. Without warning, a portal appeared in front of him. In such a terrifying moment, most people would run, but this man did the unthinkable. He stepped out of the car and walked towards the portal. Just as feared, the portal sucked him in, and he vanished without a trace. His wife was left in total shock, too scared to even move, while bystanders watched in confusion and fear. To this day, no one knows what happened to him. He simply disappeared into thin air. Miami Mall Portal. Back in 2002, a busy mall in Miami was full of people sitting casually and enjoying their day. Everything felt completely normal until something happened that looked like it came straight out of a sci-fi movie. Out of nowhere, a strange energy started to swirl in the air, and suddenly, a glowing portal opened up in the middle of the mall. People didn't wait around. They jumped up and ran in all directions, terrified of what they were seeing. The portal stayed open for only a few seconds before it disappeared, just as quickly as it had appeared. Luckily, no one stepped into it, or else they might still be stuck in whatever world it came from, never to return. Missing girl. It was just another ordinary day at the hotel until something completely unexpected caught the staff's attention. A girl wearing the hotel's uniform was seen walking around, but there was one thing off about it. No one knew where she had gone. The staff, confused, decided to check the CCTV footage from various hallways and galleries. What they saw left them stunned. The girl appeared to pass right through a wall, disappearing into thin air. They rushed to the room she had walked through, but there was nothing there. No trace, no sign, just pure mystery. Some things, it seems, will always remain unsolved. Possessed women. In a small town in China, a peaceful family lived their quiet life, until one day, everything changed. The husband had been out of town for work, and when he returned, he noticed that his wife wasn't acting like herself. Concerned, he checked the CCTV footage from the previous night. What he saw left him speechless. While their baby slept peacefully, the wife appeared to be completely possessed. Her eyes had turned dark, and there was something sinister about her. A voice, not her own, spoke through her. Terrified, the family disappeared soon after, and no one knows what became of them. I hope they are safe wherever they are. Airport terminal. At a busy airport terminal in Scotland, everything seemed normal as passengers rushed around, just like any other day. But then something happened that was meant to be kept secret, but eventually leaked out. A few people suddenly disappeared without a trace. Those around them were left in shock and panic, unsure of how it happened. The footage was leaked, and people online came up with different theories. Some believed it was teleportation, while others thought the government was somehow involved in the strange event. To this day, no one can explain what truly happened that day. Pulled in the air. In Romania, a man was riding his bicycle late at night, heading home after work. Little did he know, his journey was about to take an unexpected turn. Suddenly, he felt his bicycle stop moving, as though something was holding it back. Before he could react, an unseen force yanked him from behind, and, to his shock, he was pulled into the sky. He was lifted off the ground at full speed, soaring through the air like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. It was hard to believe, but it was all real. Unseen force. We've seen many videos where unseen forces pull people away, but this footage showed something a bit clearer. A man was walking through a hotel hallway when he suddenly bumped into a dark, ghostly figure and fell. That shadow tried to drag him by the leg. Luckily, he escaped just in time. The CCTV footage made one thing clear. These unseen forces might actually be dark figures, always waiting for the right moment to pull someone away. Scary part? You never know who's next. Mysterious woman. A local man in Romania was reviewing CCTV footage to find out who had scratched his car. He saw a woman walking casually along the roadside, seemingly just another passerby. But as he watched closely, something strange happened. The woman's body slowly began to blend into her surroundings, as if she was camouflaging herself. At first, the man didn't realize what he was seeing, but as the footage continued, it became clear. This was no ordinary woman. By the end of the clip, she had almost disappeared entirely, leaving the man with more questions than answers. Strange disappearance. In a small town in Peru, CCTV footage captured an eerie moment. Two friends were walking through a quiet, isolated area when one of them suddenly vanished, disappearing without a trace. The other friend, terrified and confused, ran away in fear. After some time, the second friend returned, but he was shaken, scared, and unable to explain what had happened. As he tried to make sense of it, his fear took over, and his own flight was frantic. Was it an abduction, or something even stranger, like teleportation? No one knows for sure, but the footage leaves everyone wondering what truly occurred that day. Mysterious man. One day, a man appeared on the roadside in the most bizarre way. It was as if he had stepped out of another dimension, or perhaps had been teleported. His arrival was so normal, so swift, that no one around him even noticed the strange event. He didn't seem confused or startled, just like any regular person going about his day. It was as though he had been plucked from somewhere and placed there, without any explanation. Honestly, I think it could be a glimpse into something bigger than we can understand. Maybe even a hint at something like time travel. Haunted house. A house owner used to hear strange noises every night, but never saw anything. Fed up, he decided to install CCTV to find out what was going on. The next day, when he checked the footage, he was shocked. First, he saw some orbs, and then multiple ghostly figures casually moving around the house. Terrified, he immediately sold the house and moved away, leaving everything behind. To this day, the house remains empty, as no one wants to experience what the previous owner had to go through. It's a mystery that continues to haunt the place. Dark, ghostly figures. On a quiet night at a highway checkpost, the CCTV footage captured something no one could explain. Two strange, dark, ghostly figures appeared out of nowhere, standing still for a while. The figures lingered for a few moments before vanishing just as suddenly as they had appeared. The security personnel didn't notice anything unusual at the time, but when they reviewed the CCTV footage, they were left speechless. No one could say who or what these figures were, or how they managed to disappear without a trace. Some mysteries, it seems, are meant to stay unsolved. Elevator mystery. In a town in Japan, there was an old apartment building where people often felt an unusual presence, especially near the elevator. One night, a woman entered, unaware of the strange happenings. As she stepped in, the elevator began malfunctioning, stopping repeatedly at the wrong floor. It seemed like a sign for her to get off, but she ignored it. Then the elevator started speeding up, floor by floor, and she grew more panicked with every passing moment. The building had only 6 floors, but it seemed to be moving through many more. Finally, it stopped on a dark, eerie floor. She stepped off, but after a while, she mysteriously disappeared. Locals say she appeared, but never spoke of what occurred during that time. Poor dog. A woman noticed her dog acting strangely. It would suddenly run off, bark at walls, and act as if something invisible was bothering it. Then she decided to set up a camera to investigate. After watching the footage, she was shocked. It wasn't the dog acting on its own. It seemed like something unseen was tormenting the dog, pulling its tail and dragging it around, like a ghostly presence was messing with it. Despite her attempts to find an explanation, she couldn't figure out why or what was causing this. Supermarket ghost. A late-night CCTV recording from a supermarket parking lot left viewers speechless. The footage shows a ghostly figure slowly moving on the roadside. It wasn't a shadow or a trick of light. This shape had movement and intent. No alarm triggered. No person was seen nearby. When staff reviewed the footage, they were too stunned to speak. Whatever that was, it didn't come to shop. And thankfully, it didn't stay long either. Ghost encounter. Back in 2020, a guy decided to take a shortcut through the woods while heading home. Locals had warned that the place wasn't safe. Ghost sightings were often reported there, but he didn't care. He walked in like it was just another night. Then, exactly what people had feared happened. A ghostly figure appeared right in front of him out of nowhere. He panicked and ran for his life without looking back. That night, he didn't just run fast, he ran wise. Ghost in car. Late at night, a quiet street was captured on CCTV. The camera showed a parked car, all alone under the streetlight. But as time passed, something strange happened. A ghostly figure appeared and slowly came out of the car, like it was from another world. The footage was clear, but no one knew how or why it happened. The next morning, when people watched the video, they were shocked. Maybe it's best if we just pretend we never saw it. Ladder thief. A worker on maintenance duty went out for his lunch break. When he came back, one of his 2 ladders was missing. Confused, he checked the CCTV footage, and what he saw left him shocked. An alien-like figure appeared out of nowhere, like it had teleported. It stood there for a few seconds, then vanished. Right after that, the ladder slowly moved by itself and disappeared too. People say the alien might have taken it, but the real question is, what would an alien even do with a ladder? That's one mystery no one saw coming. Super strength. She looked like a normal schoolgirl, but then something unexpected happened. One of her things fell under a parked car. Instead of bending down, she calmly grabbed the car with one hand and lifted it. Yes, actually lifted it. Then she walked to the other side and gently pushed the car toward the wall. After that, she picked up her item and quietly walked away, like nothing strange had happened. No expressions, no panic, just pure strength and calmness. It looked like a scene from a movie, but it was all real and caught on camera. Angry girl power. Some friends were sitting in a cafe in China when suddenly their table started moving on its own. They were shocked and confused. How was this happening? One friend thought a girl sitting nearby was doing it as a joke. He got angry and said something to her, but the girl also got angry, and then something strange happened. She simply waved her hand in the air, and that guy flew back and landed on a sofa. He stood up again, but she raised her hand once more, and he flew back again. Then she calmly walked away. Maybe she moved the table too. And now let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day.
I need to send this to somebody. I don't know who I'm going to send this to, but this needs to be known about.
In a quiet office, a tall, bald man in a suit walked up to the reception desk. His appearance was unusual, with an unclear face that made him seem almost otherworldly. As he spoke to the receptionist, his words triggered an immediate reaction from her. Without a moment's hesitation, she pulled out a weapon from the drawer. However, the man remained perfectly still, expressionless, as if unaffected by her actions. Things began to change like he had some sort of control over her. Confused and hypnotized, the receptionist placed the weapon aside, took a box from the drawer, and left with him. What they were doing, where they went, and who the man truly was remains a mystery to this day.
Okay, so now she shook her head, she's pointing her finger. I don't know if she's giving him directions or telling him to leave.